Are you ready to take off? The entry can't be made before the 13th. And don't you dare to prepare for disappointment. Hey guys, this is Michaela from Shine Your Light Brightly 1111 again with some channel messages that we will go through. I also had some visions again that I want to talk about. And first of all, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. And let's just dive in. So the ready to take off message was actually very loud, as well as in regards to this, the don't you dare to prepare for disappointment. What brought me back to all the energies of the last week about the distrust. This looks too good to be true. So whatever this might be about for you, it doesn't have to be love, right? It can be a career change, going for your life's purpose. Whatever it is, it might be about because it didn't work out in the past, or you're just afraid in general to be disappointed in the end up hurting, you try to prepare yourself for that. But Spirit says, when you go with the law of attraction, you attract what you focus on. When you focus on disappointment by preparing for it, like, okay, if it's not working out, it doesn't matter. I have plan B, C, and whatever. And, you kind of play it down. That's not how it works. So also it's your time was something I've heard. The song that came up with this was in my blood by Shawn Mendes. So, and this song talks about not giving up, right? Sometimes I feel like giving up, but I just can't. It isn't in my blood. So, well, I don't know what is meant by the entry can't be made before the 13th. I heard no month with it. So usually, if I would tell you like just 13th, I would mean the next month, right? If I mean, or this month or next month. And because we are at the beginning of March, today is, what do we have today? The 2nd of March, I guess. Yes, it's March. Isn't it crazy? It's March already. So it could be the 13th of March, or maybe it's next month. But if I just say the 13th, I don't know. But in the end, I have no clue. I can remember the last time we heard something like, at the end of March, everything makes sense, or something like this. So maybe that's connected somehow. I also heard when you go out with friends, we had that last time, like being more joyful, lighthearted, go out with your friends, dress up as if you go on a date, that kind of thing. I also heard with this, go somewhere else, be open, If you, for example, have a certain place you go, I don't know, every Friday with your friends, for example, then maybe go to another restaurant, another bar, whatever, wherever you go. And yeah, just to be more adventurous, to break with routines. I also had a lot of visions in general over the last few months about hallways, balconies. So this is all, bridges also. This is a lot about the transformative state that we as a collective are in at the moment. This is a very potent time, as I always say. And these kind of visions with these with this symbolism is actually confirming it. I'm also guided to share a story, but I don't know if I do that now. Let's first of all go further. I had number synchronicities coming up. I always see them quite often, but this week, all the time I was outside. So not just on the clock, really outside, everywhere. It was crazy, but I only saw certain ones. And there was 4s, 7s, and 8s, and usually 3 or even 4 times. So it was really like crazy. And a friend said, yeah, well, when you go outside and you I don't know, cars are parking along the street and you look at every license plate. Of course, at some point you say, I don't do that. Of course, I'm not going along the street and look at every license plate. But Spirit then says, look left, look right, look in front of you. And always when I'm doing that, I say 8888, 777, 4444. And I saw, okay, that's hilarious almost. Yeah, it was really crazy. All days I was out, what were 4 days when I really walking down streets this week, I saw that. And on the clock too. Another song that was very significant this week was If I Ain't Got You by Alicia Keys. So I don't know if that has a certain meaning for someone here, but I got two different energies with it. So usually this song is a very beautiful song, right? Which also talks about I have enough of the superficial stuff. I was there, and I also want to not just share my love, I want to share my life with someone significant. And I identified you as this person. But what came through with If I Ain't Got You this week was, if I ain't got you, no one can. So I can remember that we last week picked up on an energy of an ex which lingered in the energy and wasn't able to let go. So I didn't like that energy that came through with the song, even though I liked the song. I love Alicia Keys and this song also, but the energy that came through with it was not the one of that the original song actually is supposed to bring. Okay, I'm really guided to share this story. Because we also talked about that some of you are struggling with currently to trust their intuition, the signs, the synchronicities that are coming through. And because one of the visions later is also connected to it, I'm guided to share the story. So usually I get a lot of messages from Spirit my whole life, and I have a very analytical mind, and I love when Spirit is talking to me in riddles, and I have to figure that out, what they mean, how do they mean that, how is this connected? And Spirit gives us signs the way we understand. So however your brain is ticking, however you are connected to Spirit. So first of all, we all have different ways to get the messages, right? Some hear, some have visions, whatever it is for you. But Spirit knows you very well and does exactly know how you understand the signs that they give you. And because I love the riddles, they give me my signs in riddles quite often. So let's say there is a situation that I'm very confused about, and I'm very impatient also with it. And Spirit gives me the signs and synchronicities in the way they usually do. But I really have no nerves, not the patience to go now and to analyze some riddles here, and I don't get it, right? Because I'm in a confusion anyways, and I'm impatient, and I just don't get the message. And I ask Spirit to please give me a clear message. And they say, do you really think you don't get it, or aren't you just ready to face the answer? And that is also something we need to consider when we think we don't understand the signs. Sometimes we get it very well, but we are not ready to accept that answer. I also had a time that just comes through also where I was convinced of something. I really believed into something, but asked Spirit all the time about if this is right. Am I right here with this? And they confirmed it. And to say I was right at that point, but I was insecure about it, right? So I asked all the time for confirmation, and Spirit was asking me, okay, what do you expect us to say? I mean, they don't talk this way with me, but just, to bring it here to the point. What do you expect of us? by asking the same question over and over again, do you think that we change the answer? So that is also something we need to consider, because especially from that time where I did a lot of personal readings, I do know that people have the same question over and over and over again. But when we are in a state where we don't trust our intuitive insights, then of course we come into that, especially when we are very connected to spirit. They do know the answer, but even though they confirmed it over and over, I didn't believe it. And because I'm already talking about, I'm guided now to go into that certain vision right away, even though I wanted to start with something else, but let's do it. So in that vision, I went out at night because I couldn't sleep. So again, it was a vision. I saw myself lying in bed. I couldn't sleep, and I decided to go out, what I never would do, I guess. In that vision, I decided to go for a walk. And I went out, and I was thinking, okay, that's weird. There's so many people out here. Why are so many people on the street at that time, at night? And I also saw that it's very bright. And there was a little shop, I don't know what kind of shop, but there was, a screen that showed the time. And it was 1:28 a.m. And I thought, okay, 1:30 at night. And so many people out here, that's crazy. And why is it so bright at night? Then I saw, okay, we have a full moon. No wonder that but it was even brighter than it would be with a full moon. That full moon was huge. I mean, huge. If you ever saw a huge full moon, I don't know, 10 times as big. It was like it was in front of me and I could touch it. It was huge, and I even thought, why didn't I see that before? I walked down the street for quite some time already. But I saw it and I thought, oh, okay, that explains why it's so bright. And I want to take a picture. And I took out my phone, but I couldn't take a picture of this moon. All the time there was something in the way. And I couldn't see, so as soon as I looked through the lens of the phone, on the screen of the phone, there was no moon. But when I took it down, I saw the moon, so it was weird. And that's it. And I thought, okay, what is that supposed to tell us? So even though it's quite obvious. So the moon, beside other things, it stands for intuition. And the cam, so pictures would be about memories. And a cam is representing here the filter, our perception. Our belief system is made out of, our perception is made out of a mix out of our perception. I can talk today. Our perception and our beliefs. I can talk. Our perception is made out of a mix of our belief system and experiences. Now I got it. And that is creating a filter. And we see and perceive our world through that filter. So the cam, so the phone as a cam represents here the filter of perception. The moon represents the intuition. They're, huge. And we couldn't make a picture because I couldn't see the moon through the lens, right? So to come to the point, I don't know why I can talk right now. It is about, there is something so obvious, an intuition that is so strong. It might be confirmed over and over by signs and synchronicities, but still we are doubting it because we look at the situation through the lens of the past, so pictures, memories, right? And our perception, because of the past, is letting us not trusting it. That's actually the message here. But I got some other messages, so it might not be the same for each and every one of us. So let me just go with my notes real quick here. That's the vision itself. Let me find it. So that's actually it. It can also be that, the moon can represent shadows, right? And we had last time shadows coming up with the visions, very strong shadows. So either there's one shadow connected to a memory that can't come up really, or that you kind of deny and suppress, so that you can't fully face the shadow, even though it really wants to come through. That could be for someone too here. Okay. Let's leave it with that. I also heard something about the moon can also represent uncertainty when we only have our intuition, right? But we have no proof yet in the physical world. So then it is just a message that you can trust it, right? And because there were so many people on the street, it can be also a very collective thing that many people are in uncertainty right now. And especially if it is a time of many people waking up. And so the people who are already awake are called to share their knowledge, because we all have different experiences, different storylines, and different ways to explain things, right? And because so many people all over the world are waking up right now, they all need the guidance to get through that state, through these stages of awakening. And they need the guidance. And because we are all different, we are all kind of called to share our knowledge so that those people can get through it a bit easier. It's not easy, but easier maybe, by having that guidance from so many different people, so that each and everyone can find someone who explains it to them the way they understand. That was also something but you have to excuse me because I feel that my eyes, so I have really to just say that at this point. In the summer, I was blind actually, and I'm still not fully recovered. So if you see my eyes sometimes weird, beside the fact that they are going weird when I channel messages, but sometimes I just can't see really. And when I'm tired, and let me know. I'm sleeping so. It's really crazy. Over the last few months, I'm really not sleeping well. I'm waking up. It feels like a million times each night. So anyway, that's a quick vision that I had with a quick message. So let's go here before I forget it here. I was walking into a room and I was hitting my head because that room was very low. Right? So, and I was hitting my head and I heard limitation of imagination. So for some it might be like really dream bigger, think bigger. They showed me then also kind of a glass cage that we just can crash so that we get out of those limits. Yeah, what the next one completely was about, I think I didn't fully get it, but maybe you do. Because when Spirit tells me that these are collective, doesn't mean they are not also resonating with me, but you might get it differently, right? There's a message inside for you here that I don't see. So I saw a luminous butterfly, blue, shining blue. And next to it was a blue shining pearl. And then that pearl suddenly started to roll. And it got dirty. It even rolled through mud, so it was not to recognize anymore as a pearl at all, right? And then it went into the ocean and got clean again, and also later on through rain and through the wind, and it got even more clean again and polished even. And at the end, it was shining so brightly in white. So I heard with the blue, throat chakra. And throat chakra is not just about communication. It is also about authenticity. So of course this can just be about our journey, right? We are born in that kind of neutral energy. I mean, we could talk about that. I just had a conversation this week with a doc. I was actually with my doc for my eyes, where I was for a control appointment, and he was a very strong believing that the way we are has nothing to do with how we are raised. He said it's all in our DNA. And I thought, okay, that is his belief. I didn't try to convince him, so that's not the way I am. I found that interesting. So he even, that is, and I refuse. I mean, I have no clue about these things, right? But I refuse to believe that something is sizzled in stone and unchangeable. That would be very hopeless, actually, right? So he was also talking about that in his family there was a young man addicted to drugs, and he died when he was 21. And I wanted to say something that I'm sorry, but he said, well, we were all happy about this because who knows what he would have done to others. And I thought, oh, that's horrible. But yeah, that's how some people, I don't know why this story comes up. So never settle for something. I can tell you that I got diagnosed with an eye disease many years ago, and really many years ago, and they told me I will be blind next year. So I'm sitting here a decade later. Yes, my eyes are not the best, and in summer I was just moving to, I had a new job at the beginning of the year, last year, 24, and I had to move to a different city, and my start here was in the hospital. And I really thought now, okay, now it happens. But why does it happen now, where I just have a new job, move to another city, and I don't know anyone here, or at least I didn't know anyone here when I moved here. So I wouldn't even have support at all. I didn't unpack yet. And that was a horrible thing. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but what I wanted to say is if I would have settled for, because a doctor said to me, not just one, there were a few saying to me that you won't see anymore next year. So of course you have to be careful as a doctor to whom you say something like that. When you get to someone like my doc here, they believe you, they believe it, and because you believe it, it will come true. I just refuse to believe that. I said, no, I don't accept that. I don't accept that as my truth. That won't happen. And I'm sitting here and I still, again, my eyes are not the best. I have contact lenses. I need most likely glasses in addition. And there are days that are worse and others when it's better, but I'm still seeing, and I'm glad that it is that way. So never settle for something because someone said that. Yeah. Also, my daughter we had a lot of cancer in our family, and she always says, "Oh, we have to be so careful. It's in our blood." And I said, "Oh, don't you dare to believe that? You know, I mean, of course, we never know, but when you already have that so strong in your belief system, you prepare for that, like preparing for disappointment." You know, I mean, it's not bad to be prepared to go regular to the docs to make the checks. That's all good, but not in that fear because that they will find something. Then you will attract it. That's how it works. So I just can say, never settle for something, you know. By the way, the 128 that came in that moon vision, that time, maybe 128 is meaningful for someone here, 28th of January, something like that. But what I heard is that 28, I wanted to look this up, I forgot. 28 represents kind of fears. I mean, it adds up to 10, what would be closing old cycles. That is how I would approach it with my logical mind. But what I got is when the fear is a shadow, then become one with your shadow was a message last week. But maybe it means something else for you, but I just saw the 128 here again. So we are almost at the end. I heard something about a father wound. So someone is really struggling here still with a father wound. And we have some water real quick. And this is a bit in the way here. It's related to the distrust. Something looks too good to be true, especially also when it is about love here. So Spirit told me like it would be helpful maybe to write a letter. Everything that's on your mind about this. And burn the letter and let it go. So it comes up now like what this is a message we got many weeks ago. Like it's not an unhealed wound anymore. It is just a memory of the wound. And by writing it down, it gets kind of out of your system. And by burning it, you and with the intention to let this go now. It could also be helpful. There is, I always forget how this is called, that Hawaiian forgiveness work. Something with Ho'opono. I always say that wrong and forget how it's called. But it is something like, please forgive me, I'll forgive you, thank you, I love you. That might be also helpful here. The song that came up with that father wound was Because of You by Kelly Clarkson. Yeah. I also had the song Photographed by Ed Sheeran coming up, not regarding the father wound, just in general today. There was something else, and I want to say, if that's not your belief system, just forget it. I'm called to say it, and I will not go deep into this. I will just mention it once, because for someone it might be a very important message. So if you listen to something at night, like, you know, when you have some kind of music or healing frequencies, and I'd be very aware what you're listening to. Especially if it are subliminals, only use them from trusted sources. Especially if you believe in darker forces. I try to say I really try to say that right. Spirit help me. I heard, let's say it clear out here. I heard kind of a demonic voice speaking using, also in a vision, speaking, whispering in your ear at night in a very, well, demonic-like way. Not just the voice was demonic, but also what they said. And they use the frequencies you use at night. I mean, when you listen to subliminals, they also have, most of the time have theta or alpha waves in the background, something like this. And they use this because it's used for subliminals to go right into your subconscious, right? To make those changes that the subliminals are supposed to make for you. So be careful. I don't want to spread fear here at all. I think it is for someone who knows already that the dark forces are around, when it is your belief system. And just be careful what you listen to. Only use trusted sources here, and also maybe put yourself into a protective bubble at night. Ask the angels or archangels for help at night to protect you from dark forces at night. Again, this is very specific, and I'm pretty sure that whoever this message is for knows exactly what I'm talking about. So if you never thought about this, don't get afraid here at all. Then this message is just not for you. I really was considering to not say it, but Spirit told me to do so. So, I think that's it. Last time I forgot to mention songs and wrote them in the comments later. So let me see. I also got that my inspiration for the week, I think 2 weeks ago or last week, I can't remember, was something about writing a letter to past or future self. And regarding this, I was also called to share the story that I actually visited my past selves quite often to do my inner child healing, right? So in OBEs and so on. And at some point, I was reminded that as a little girl, 5 years old or so, I always set my alarm to 5 a.m. to get up and do some exercise in the morning. And I can remember that my parents said, "Are you nuts? Why are you doing this?" And I couldn't explain it. I just said, "I love to do this." And actually, this is something I started off, I don't know, about a decade ago. I did this all the time. I was always getting up early, but I never exercised in the morning. But I had a routine then since 10 years. I get up, I exercise, I journal, I meditate. I have my certain routine. I need 1.5 hours in the morning before I actually start my day with what I have to do. So this is my morning routine. And I actually told in an OBE my little girl, my little me, about it. So even if you don't have OBEs and visit yourself in the past, but never underestimate that it can have an effect. So also if you write a letter here, they might get the information. So if you want to give a little advice here to your past self for the future, I mean, it won't work time does not really exist, and it is especially not as linear as we perceive it as human beings. So it's very fast. I'm totally fascinated by time. I love also movies and series, shows about time travel, because my analytical mind loves to put these puzzle pieces together. But because I'm very spiritual and was talking a lot with Spirit about that time, and they always tell me, like, don't try even to figure this out. Your human brain is not made for understanding that. So we might not understand it fully at this, in this era here. Maybe when we evolve further, we will. But very interesting topic for sure. I don't know why I was guided to share this too. But I'm done now, and I hope it helped you in some way. Let me know in the comments if there is something you want me to talk about at some point, or yeah, just let me know how the messages are resonating. And thank you so much for being here. Until next time, stay safe. Bye bye.